Hello and welcome to the Redmen TV. It's the Champions League draw this evening and I am joined by John Reid and Adam Rowe, just coming back from a successful Edinburgh Fringe stint. Is that what you call it? A stint? What do you call it?
Whatever you want. You can call it whatever you want now, as long as people don't ask me any more questions about it. I mean, I'll talk to you, but don't stop me on the street. I'm sick of how did the festival go? Okay. I've had that conversation with every person I've ever met in the last week, and I just can't.
What was the worst thing about being in Edinburgh for a month?
Everything's uphill. You go somewhere, it's uphill, and on the way back, it's somehow uphill again.
It's like Sheffield, that.
It's ridiculous. Well, it's because apparently when the plague happened back then, instead of like sort of cleaning the city, they just built a new city over the dead bodies that the plague brought. So that's why Edinburgh's so hilly, because they've just gone, there's a mess there, we'll just build a city over it. So you're literally walking on dead people constantly in Edinburgh, and they've just done that across the whole city. Okay,
well, listen, that's enough about that. We're going to talk about football, we're going to talk about Liverpool, we're going to talk about the Champions League draw. But before we get into it, let's have a look at some of the teams and what pots they're in. Obviously, we want to see pot 1, Juventus, Lokomotiv Moscow, PSG, Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich. We can't draw Manchester City, but they're in there. Real Madrid and Barcelona. Some tough teams there. John, who would you like to avoid from pot 1?
I think Barcelona are always bad to get in any situation just because of the Messi factor, but also they've strengthened a lot this summer. Nice. I think it's just a really difficult place to go and to do anything with, really, isn't it? I'm not saying I'd be worried going there, but it's just one of them, isn't it? Like, you're not feeling confident.
Who did they buy in the summer, John?
Malcolm.
About to do that.
That's all I was not all in midfield. Yeah. Who do you feel?
Genuinely, I'm not really that bothered, because the two biggest fish, I suppose, are Madrid and Barcelona, and I want either of them. They're who I want from that group. I think the team with a point to prove is PSG, isn't it? And City, who we can't get. So I'd like to avoid PSG if I had to pick one, even though I think Madrid and Barca are the two to avoid, but I actually want one of them.
Okay, let's look at pot 2 then. We've got Roma, Dortmund, Spurs and Manchester United. We obviously can't get them. A little trip back to Porto might be nice if you want a favourable draw. I know they've strengthened in the summer, but you know the way that we demolished them, twatted them 5-0 in fact, was exceptional last time. Napoli for me are probably the team that I want to avoid. You'd want to avoid most, the normal people. Then you got Shakhtar Donetsk, who had a good Champions League out in last season, and Benfica in pot 2. Listen, I want Napoli, but because there's a reason for that, and we'll come on to that later when we look at who you want. But there's some good aways there. I think Roma would be a great away. Dortmund would be a fantastic away, Adam. Napoli could be good as well.
See, the thing for me is, I think the best team in that is Dortmund, that we can draw. And I still would rather have them just for the away, because I'll go to Dortmund and that'll be a great couple of days. I don't care about Napoli. I think losing the manager this season, Jorginho, a couple of key losses for them. So I don't think they're really an issue as much as Dortmund are. The one I'd want to avoid is Roma. For the same reason I imagine Madrid probably want to avoid us, is that they're probably annoyed with us. They weren't happy with the results. They weren't happy with the referee. And we all know it was a load of bollocks, but they've got a point to prove against Liverpool. They'll be angry. We took their Champions League final spot off them. I'd rather avoid them.
Okay, let's have a look at pot 3 then. It's our pot. So we obviously can't draw any of those teams. Ajax, Liverpool, Monaco, CSKA, Moscow, Schalke, Lyon, PSV, Valencia. There's no point talking about pot 3 because we're not going to come up against any of those sides. And pot 4, Bruges, Hoffenheim, Inter Milan, Victoria, Galatasaray, Young Boys, Athens and Belgrade. Pot 4, you'd fancy us, John, to beat anyone in that, wouldn't you?
You would, yeah. I mean, I think obviously we went to Hoffenheim last year before we started the song. And Inter Milan, I think, are probably the only two teams that might give us a bit of trouble. But you'd fancy that we do okay there, I think. I wouldn't really fancy going to Galatasaray just because of the trip and because I think it's a fairly bad away in terms of their fans being very good at encouraging the team. But I still think we'd be okay, to be honest.
Okay. Okay, well, let's have a look at some of the preferred groups then. We've asked both John and Adam to give us their preferred groups, and you can see on the screen now, Adam. Talk me through yours based on why you want each of these teams.
All right, well, I think the top one just speaks for itself, doesn't it? I think, was talking to a mate of mine recently, and he's from down south, and he's a Liverpool fan as well, but he's also an England fan. Now, in the summer, I did get behind England, and I did want them to do well in the end. At the start of the tournament, just apathetic, like, I don't really... And then I sort of got caught up on the hype train sort of thing. About an hour after we went out, I was like, oh, well, that happened. I'm still not over what happened in Kiev, and I don't think I ever really will be. The whole Karius thing, as much as I do think a lot of people online went too far and, you know, abused his family and sent him death threats, that's inexcusable on every level. I still don't feel sorry for him with regards to what happened in that game, just because I can't let myself, because that's how much it's affected me. So I'd really love to do Madrid over, so that's why they're there. I think for me, in pot 2, Porto, just because of how easy we found it last season. I know they've strengthened, but so have we, and we've also still got a much better team than they have. Porto, for me, from pot 2 is... And I don't want to... this will end up a meme if we get these and they beat us twice, but they seem the most favourable draw. And there's no easy games in the Champions League from a pot 2 team, but they're the easiest one. And Bruges is just because they're quite close. I don't fancy... Like, I've seen a couple of people online today, and I don't know whether you guys are going to mention this about Lokomotiv Moscow being in pot 1. That seems like such a good draw on paper because they're obviously the weakest team in the pot, but... That flight, if we had that before
a Chelsea game or
before
after
a Chelsea
game.
or like if we've got, because there'll be weeks, I haven't looked at the whole fixture list like back to back, I know exactly when we're playing people, but there might be a week where, you know, you get one of them horrible weeks where you've got Man United on the Saturday, a Champions League game, and then on the Sunday you've got Chelsea away. If Lokomotiv Moscow away was in the middle of that, it's hard to focus.
Yeah, that's it, John. And listen, what do you think of his group, first of all?
I think it sounds, yeah. I think I'm slightly reticent about getting Madrid in the group. A lot of people who have spoken to today about the draw have said that they'd like to have Madrid in the group just to get them on field, and I just kind of think it'd be a bit of a waste. Like, I'd rather play them. I know obviously it all counts, obviously in terms of getting out of the group and stuff, but I'd rather play them in a knockout rather than play them in a group game, because I just think, like, you know, obviously we might reach them again later on, and I'd rather it be then. And if we've kind of played that card early. But the other two are fine, yeah. I mean, obviously we'll come on to who I picked in a minute. But...
Oh, come on, let's go.
Just 1 second on that, because what I'd say with that is, I don't reckon they're going to get very far this year. I know that seems weird to say with, you know, them being the champions for the past 3 years, but they lost the manager this year, and his assistant, Zidane. He went as well. But they're not going to go very far, so we might not get them long term, and I'd rather get the chance early on.
I know, and I agree with that, but let's have a look at John's then. We're going there now, so you can see he's picked Atletico Madrid, Benfica, Liverpool, obviously, and Bruges. Why Atletico, John? I think this is an interesting one.
I mean, I've sort of done what Adam's done, to be honest. I've kind of thought, like, what are the closer ways and stuff. With Atletico, I just think it's always tough, and I'd much rather play them in a group than play them further down the line. Obviously, we might do, but, you know, get that out the way early. I just don't fancy... They're basically Burnley, aren't they? But just really, really good at being Burnley. It's just not a fun place to go, and I think they've got the kind of thing behind them as well. Obviously, the final's going to be at their ground. Really, I think, like, their team, like, along with Juventus, who've gone really close a couple of times last year, everything Adam's just said about Real, for them, you know,
Can I ask you a question then? I think what you're relying on is you're relying on beating Bruges and Benfica, and does that not make it somewhat... what's the right word? Somewhat difficult in that you can't slip up in any of the other games because Atletico might beat you home and away.
They could do, but weirdly, I think I was looking into Benfica and the way they play. I mean, I don't pretend to watch a lot of the Portuguese league, but the way they play, they seem to set up in a similar way. And I just think, you know, teams took points off them, took points off Atletico in the groups last year. And I think they could. I think, you know, if you've got two teams Saturday playing each other, not much happens. We're obviously going to go there and play football and go at them, and they might try and hit us on the break.
Yeah, there's no way, if that was the group, I know you're saying we could slip up against Benfica or Bruges. There's no way Atletico win every game in that group. Not a chance in hell. So there would be a chance to drop 2 points away to Benfica. We should be walking all over Bruges home and away. We really should. And now that Liverpool are trying to get back amongst that elite, and we've got a long way to do in that last season and with the summer transfer window, we can't be looking at a group like that and thinking, oh, what if we slip up? We've got to be thinking we're not going to slip up. We're going to go and beat these Champions League finalists last year, and we've improved the squad. If we got that group, I'd have no complaints with that. Atletico's a tough defensive team, but I'd expect at Anfield to get a 1-0. And we're at a stage now where with Van Dijk and Alisson and Gomez that, you know, teams are going to have to attack Liverpool this year to put our defenders under pressure. If you let us just defend, he's shown it against Brighton. We got a 1-goal lead and we did manage the game. They had one chance that flashed past the goal. I'm not as worried about these defensive units anymore. Naby Keita will run through 3 or 4 players, and that's how you break walls down. That's why he's been bought. That group, I'd be happy with, obviously.
Okay. Let me show you a group that maybe some people will disagree with then. So my group is actually Real Madrid, I think first and foremost. That's the team that I want for all the reasons that we've mentioned before. I've gone for Napoli because I think they can get a result against Real Madrid, even with the weakened side. The way that they play football, I think while Real Madrid are getting used to their new manager, and I know they've started really well in La Liga, I still think it will take time. I don't see them. I'd like to get into a group with Real that they can't get out of.
Yeah.
That's the thing for me, because I think Liverpool right now, and I've said this before, are better set up for European football than we are for winning the Premier League. And you might disagree with me, and you might be right, but right now it feels like Manchester City, with this way that they play in that tiki-taka style of football, they can beat any team in the Premier League. But the way that Liverpool play on the counter, when you go into away grounds, teams have to come out at you, and Liverpool are better equipped for going out there and getting a result. So that's why I've gone with that. I've gone for Bruges because I want a whipping boy as well, to be honest with you. But that's the group that I want.
So I know obviously, you know, buying aside, you know, not being brilliant, but does the Ancelotti factor not worry you with Napoli? That he's obviously been there and done it.
Yeah, of course, because I think he's a top manager. You know, he's won the Champions League in different countries. He's won leagues all over the place. He's a good manager. But again, I still fancy us against them because I think away from home we can always get a result. And that's why, and I fancy them against Real Madrid more importantly. And if we got that group, I'd like Liverpool and Napoli to be the teams that are going through and see them on their arse. Because I'm exactly the same as you. I'm not over that Champions League final and I want the first bite at the cherry at them.
Yeah, totally. And just to clarify something I said before, I'm not underestimating any team. When I was like, oh, Napoli have lost the manager and whatever, that's a tough team. That's not 6 points guaranteed for anyone. It's not even, like, even Bruges, it's the Champions League, do you know what I mean? And there's a shock every year where a Bruges goes to a Real Madrid and gets a 1-0. It happens every season, something happens. We're trying to, you know, we're trying to predict the future here and just going, this is what we'd like, but you never know what's going to happen 5 minutes into a game.
I picked this group, a few days ago.
It's mad that we've all gone for Bruges.
And, well, it's a nice away.
It's
a lovely town. I'd like to go and see the footy there, to be honest with you. It's fairly close. You can get the Halters of Brugge, and then it's about a one hour from the ferry. It's not too bad, to be honest with you.
We all fancy a trip to Madrid as well.
Absolutely.
On some level. Yeah.
Maybe we should save that for the end of the competition.
Maybe
we should save that for the end. It looks like they're warming up. I reckon we've still got a few minutes to film, because this happens every single year. Okay, I must admit, I'm like, the closer the draw comes, and as soon as teams start getting pulled out of this, my bravado will go. My arse will go. As soon as a team's drawn, I'll be like, I do not want them anymore, because it's all of a sudden it's become real. I picked this group about 4 days ago. You know, and I'm already getting that feeling inside me tummy when it says, you really don't want Real Madrid and Napoli, Chris. You want Porto, you want Bruges, and you maybe want, let's say, Lokomotiv Moscow, but I agree with you on your points that you raised before. Oh, who's that there? Anyone know? I'm going to get some of the comments up now.
I'm sure he was in EastEnders at one point, you know.
I think he had a brother, to be honest with you, in there. I should definitely have got the comments up.
There you go,
is that Kaka? See, we can all read. That's a bonus, isn't it? Because we're going to have to do that. Do you reckon these are the guys that are going to actually do the draw then?
Not really.
It normally takes ages for them to actually start the draw, doesn't it? They normally show like Shrek 2 or something first.
They could have at least picked the best Shrek. Do you know what I mean? Are they like ITV? Are they? Do you get the rights about 15 years after the films come out?
Yeah. It's just, guess what's on tonight? It's The Bourne Identity, followed by American Pie 2.
And broken up by the news for half an hour. We actually had this discussion yesterday, believe it or not, on one of the shows, which was pretty cool. Like, Diego Forlan's got
now
fantastic hair.
Now people won't believe this is live. They'll think this was...
I'm just going to turn something. I mean, you can tell that this is live. Okay, we'll get into some of the comments now. Oh, that new studio looks lovely. Paige Aknoud says, Walsey, EU. You're going to put the groups up on the screen when they're drawn, says Zayn Ishtayak.
Hopefully.
We're going to try. We've been testing this afternoon. Si has gone a little bit grey over in the corner, you can't see him. So to do this, you wouldn't believe the amount of stuff that's going on in the background. First of all, we've got 3 guys working behind the camera. We've got Tom, of course, mixing the entire show. We've got Sam and we've got Si. We've got about 5 computers working this, 3 televisions, a multitude of cameras and lights just to get this going. A question for everybody. Oh, actually, here you go. DJ says, congrats, Edinburgh, on Edinburgh Festival. Best joke.
Yeah, cheers for that. That was a very nice surprise up there, to be honest with you, because that award tends to go to people like Tim Vine and Stuart Francis, who do, one-liner jokes. And I don't really do jokes, if I'm honest with you. Like, my stuff's more stories and me just being audible about people in my life without asking them whether I can talk about them first. So to win Best Joke was a very nice surprise. And the press coverage was mainly good, apart from one newspaper, which we shall not name, that covered it negatively.
Of course they did, because you're from Liverpool and they like to do that. Okay, question for you. What was the joke one? There's going to be thousands of people watching this who don't know it, and I know it's difficult. And just to put it into context, there's 3,500 people watching. So you better tell them.
So where the camera? There?
Yeah.
So I could never work at the job centre. Imagine working somewhere knowing full well if you get sacked, you've still got to go in the next day. That was the joke.
I think it's belter. What I loved about this is the fact that there was a little bit of fallout and a few people saying that another comedian had said it first.
Yeah, the thing is, there's a reason I don't do those one-liner jokes, and it's because similar ideas with puns and play on words like that they're easy to come by. And someone sent me an image saying it was done in 2014, so I literally spent a whole afternoon going through my Facebook to find when I first posted it, and it was a year before that guy had done it. So then I just put that up, and then I got sent a screenshot of a doctor tweet which said 2010, and then someone who actually follows your channel, he might be watching this, actually replied and went, well, I've got one for another screenshot, and his just was like from like 1876. It's just silly, do you know what I mean? You've got to just ignore that sort of stuff. As long as, if you're a comedian, you've come up with it, then I think that's enough. You've got to, you've got to admit sometimes if you've sort of remembered something rather than came up with it, but...
And John, what have you been doing the last month?
Not a lot, mate, to be honest. It's just madness. All stuff behind the scenes, getting ready for the new school year and work.
Oh, I think I'd rather have been at Edinburgh Fringe Festival. What are they doing now? They're just chatting absolute wham like us.
Shrek 2?
They shouldn't be let me know if you're watching this on dual screen actually and you're looking at us and you're looking at the draw at the same time. Saint Eagles FC says Coutinho leaving is the best thing to have happened to us. I can't say that I'd agree with that because I tell you what, in the summer when we were linked with the likes of Fekir, we kind of had a guy who could play attacking midfielder and I think who was a little bit better than Fekir.
Yes.
And I think that's fair to say, isn't it? And sometimes I think we forget that.
It's naive. That's a naive tweet. I think what people have done there is gone, we improved towards the end of last season based on the start of it. But I think that was always going to happen anyway. The players did step up and fill that gap because they had to. Mm-hmm. But Coutinho is a world-class player, as much as I hate to admit it now. You don't take a world-class player out the team and it be the best thing that's ever happened to Liverpool Football Club. It's just not. Like, I see where he's coming from.
But his point is, John, that the team did find a way to win. We did manage to get to the Champions League final because we found a new way of playing football without him.
Yeah, I don't think necessarily he was a club player, was he? You know, in the style that he had and stuff. I think you can maybe ask, does Salah get as many of the opportunities that he had, in terms of people giving him the ball and stuff if Coutinho was still in the team, but you just can't get away from it, can you? This team, I don't think just because we sold them doesn't necessarily mean we don't get Van Dijk. We wanted them in the summer, the money was there. So this team that we've got now, plus Coutinho, is,
And listen, I mentioned it before, the Fekir thing. We were looking for an attacking midfielder. We probably wouldn't have needed an attacking midfielder. So the money's there to be spent probably, unless they siphon that off for Alisson because he became available. But listen, we've talked a little bit about Liverpool so far this season. But Adam, I know you've been having a slightly different view on Liverpool because of where you've been for the last month and stuff. But how has it been watching Liverpool this season? And what do you think the improvement is that we've made?
I think this is apparent from Klopp's post-match press conferences. So I've watched every game so far. I found time at the festival to make sure I watched the game, even though I said before I didn't find time to spend time with the missus.
You got your priorities right.
Yeah. I've watched every game while I was up there, and what's interesting from Klopp's post-match is that I think he's clearly changed his mind on how important defending in football matches is. I think for a long time he's been, we'll just attack constantly, and if we score 37, as long as they only score 36, it's fine. Whereas he seems to now be going, we've bought a world-class keeper, we've got a world-class centre-back. 1-0 up against Brighton. Last season, that last 10 minutes, we'd have been trying to get a second goal and kill it, and we did just try and kill the game this time. There was passing between the centre-backs into defensive midfield, back to the centre-backs, getting Alisson involved. I think that's the biggest improvement we've made is Klopp. I love him, but he has been arrogant at times and been, this is the way I play. And I think he's finally gone, maybe there is a weakness in the philosophy.
I actually disagree with that, mate. And one of the things is I've listened to a Klopp interview where he's talked about it, and he said, you know, first of all, he was a defender. He likes defending. But when he came into Liverpool Football Club, there was a clear imbalance between the attack and the defence. And I think it's taken him a little bit longer to get his head around that defending side thing. I don't think throughout his career, you know, he's had teams that can't defend. Borussia Dortmund, when they shut up shop, they won the league. Twice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he did do that. He went from like, we did the stats on this a couple of years ago, didn't we? He went from like 60 goals or 50 goals conceded to like in the 30s. And that's when they won the league. So I think he knows. I think sometimes it's just taken him a little bit longer. And certainly, you know, having to wait 6 months for Virgil van Dijk has extended the time period maybe that's going to happen.
I get what you're saying, but I do, from my perspective, watching the first 3 games of the season, there does seem a lot more onus on just keep the ball for 5 minutes than I haven't seen from the first few years of Klopp's like tenure at Liverpool. Like, I think there has been a little, we don't need a second goal as long as we don't concede one. Whereas in the past, I haven't really seen that.
I think sometimes that might come down to trust. It might be trust in the defence. I mean, if you've got like Dejan Lovren and Joel Matip back there, and you want them passing it around the back, maybe they're players that the rest of the team doesn't trust, and they maybe, John, have felt like we need to go out and score another goal here.
Yeah, I think, you know, you can't take away from the fact that, you know, if you've got a lad like Salah in your team, or you know those types of attacking talents that people are going to look and go, give him the ball, you know, give him the ball, he'll take care of it, and you know, I might not fancy going up against, you know, Ronaldo or whoever in the Champions League, but if I get the ball to him, he'll do something at the other end and it'll be fine. I don't think you can get away from that.
What's going on here? Anyone know? What are they doing?
Awards or something.
Well, why are the teams just randomly generating them where they're going? Is anyone, like, let me know what's going on, because we haven't got the sound.
They're showing, we haven't got the sound now, but I think what they're showing is
where they can and can't.
Where they can and can't go. So a team from Russia and Ukraine can't be in the same group either.
War.
Yeah, because it'll kick off, mate.
What is it good for?
So I think they were just doing that, like just explaining what everyone definitely... No one's watching this draw who doesn't know how it works.
Apart from us.
Yeah.
No, but we know.
Roughly.
No one watches the draw. No casual fan watches the draw.
This isn't explaining anything. This is a game of checkers.
Exactly.
What are they doing? Well, this white ball can go into this pot. Is the internet slowed down and it can't load the graphics here or something? What are they doing? Oh my days. Andrea Takar sent us a green super chat. Thank you so much. Sergio Ramos is sitting behind Mo. Mo should turn back and slap him. I wouldn't like Mo to do it, but if he's got someone close to him that doesn't mind doing that, I'd absolutely be all in on that. Just give him the old Birk and egg kiss. Really though?
This is wild.
What are they doing? Oh yeah, that explains it all, lads.
Yeah. We've cracked it. Cracked the code.
This makes no sense to me. I think this is this is going to come out to 42, this.
This looks like when you're trying to set the brightness on your telly.
It's bizarre. I feel like she got no idea what's going on here. What? Anybody let me know in the comments section what the hell's happened. It's just the tutorial, Chris, says Paul Lennon. It's just confused the shit out of me, says Chris Pajak.
I reckon tutorials are probably far more effective with the sound on though.
Maybe so. Are we actually going to get into it? Oh, look at this, pot one.
Here we go.
They're going through it now. Real Madrid, top of the pile. Club Atlético de Madrid, Barcelona, FC Bayern München, Manchester City FC, Juventus Football Club. That doesn't sound right. And there's another couple in there. I can't remember which ones I read out. Which one? Oh, it's the guy with the grey hair and the glasses who always does this. He must have, I don't know what he's like.
Ranieri for a second, yeah.
It's like, he's like the Bruce Buffer of the Champions League draw worlds. He's going in. His hand's in the pot. What's he going to pull out?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Just showing.
It's just
showing the
Absolutely amazing. Chris, get your pen.
I think that
My
goes
words.
to show just how much a lack of respect people have for footballers' intelligence when they're like, this is how you take a ball out of a bowl.
Kaka's pretty tall compared to that buffer guy.
PSG.
PSG. What are they going in? Do they have to draw this now, or do they just go into A and make it easy for us? Oh, for fuck's sakes. Right, so they're about to draw where they can and can't go, and I'd missed the tutorial, so it's either red or blue. Can they go into red? You'd say no. So I sat there going, they're not even going to go into Crusade. He's found his PSG layer, and now he needs to watch this guy rub Kaka off. Oh no, he was putting the ball in. Oh, look at Forlan. Prick. Absolute mank weapon. Open the ball, lad. It's just a fucking...
You know when
it's like a
people
fucking Kinder Egg, lad.
You know when people claim things like this are fixed? It's like, they could fix it. You know, they go, oh, they make the balls off so they know which ones to pick. We haven't got a fucking clue what he's just put in that bowl. He could have put anything in that bowl.
C for PSG.
Ooh,
well, there you
interesting.
Go. As it stands, that's
Real
a group
interesting.
That is a group of death.
Any thoughts on this group, Chris?
Not quite. Kaka's moving pretty quickly there. He's onto the fact that it's an unscrew job. There you go.
The first 8 is dull, innit?
Yeah, it's absolutely
It just
dull.
Doesn't matter.
Real Madrid, here we go. What group can they go in? We'll find out. Right, so, I don't know. The answers, I don't know. Oh, look at there, Roberto Carlos looking pensive there. He's practiced that face. Another guy clapping. He's clapping because he wasn't sure Kaka could get that ball out. What team did they draw here? Real Madrid.
Why is he just grabbing 3 balls for random, yeah?
Because they're the groups that he can go in, you see.
Yeah.
This is the guy who wants to be Bruce Buffer next season. He wants the little gigs guy's job.
But it's not group C.
He's on to the twist job. Yeah, maybe don't put 5 fucking threads on it next year, lads. Group G for Real Madrid. Okay.
Recently, I slagged off those people who watch like Kinder Egg openings on YouTube, and I've just realised I'm just doing the same thing.
Game of Kinder Egg surprise. Kaka's well on this, mate. He's not messing around. He looks like he's left a coat hanger in his suit jacket, mind. Because he's all a bit like...
Could we actually get Shrek 2 on one of these?
Unfortunately.
Bayern Munich can go in A, B, D, E, F and H in my world.
I've got no idea.
Oh, look at them.
That's a fine beard, that.
That is a fine beard. I'll never know. Not able to do that.
Can you not do a beard, mate, now?
No. I'm 35. I've been growing this for 17 years.
I'm fuming with how short this is at the minute. I went to barbers the other day and he went, do you want me to trim your beard a bit for you as well? Because it was quite long, but I normally have it like quite a bit longer than this. And I went, yeah, sure. And he didn't even ask me how long I wanted. He just got his face and just went for it. And I couldn't even tell him to stop then. I was just like, yeah, go ahead, lad, just carry on.
E. It's E, mate. E for Bayern Munich, I think. So far, Munich, Real Madrid, PSG. It's pretty boring at this stage of the competition. I'm going to get into some of the comments before Kaka sorts his life out. They're telling us what's going on here. To be fair, Barca are in Group B. Thanks for that. Won't be looking at that again. Because we want genuine reactions to when Liverpool's drawn more than anything
Barca.
else. What group do you reckon they're going in, lads?
You know what? I'm gonna back the unthinkable. D. I'm gonna put them in Group D. I just hope that he was wrong, and then I'll look like a fucking wizard.
I'm going to write Barcelona in Group B.
Oh, I hope it's wrong now. So you have to script
Take your time, lads. Take your got to pass out.
It's big!
Well done, mate.
Jesus Christ, next time I'm going to breathe heavier, breathe deeper before I do
What
something
you should have
like
done
that.
is not told us about that, and then you could have looked incredible then. You can't do it again now with the next one.
What? Well, I was just checking the comments. How do you remember? I got a text off the missus. Atletico Madrid.
Club Atletico de Madrid.
This is proper shit at this point of the competition. I'm looking here like it's size updated, but he's not. I do wonder whether this is actually going to work. What do you think, Si?
I think it's going to work.
He thinks it's going to work.
It's slower than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, we practiced this at like times 10 speed, and poor old Si was just like...
We didn't really make that as difficult as possible for you.
Every 3 seconds we were drawing a team out and Simon said to make the graphic as it went along. And honestly, like, he was struggling big time. I don't know. A. Oh, shit.
Atletico.
Atletico in A.
Not A, Carthens.
Yeah.
I've made it very clear now, you can see. You can see there, I've drawn this all planned out. So Atletico Madrid, they're a team that I think we all are a little bit worried about because we know that the type of football that they play, don't we, John? But Kaka's about to draw somebody out now. He's well faster, isn't he? Who's that? Juventus. Juve. Well, they can go in D, F or H by my reckoning. Oh, Pavel Nedved. What a superstar.
Gets forgotten sometimes, him. You know, when people talk about like former players who were like really good. Just very rarely gets brought up.
He was top notch, wasn't he? Like, that Czech Republic side with him was glorious to watch.
Did you see that video on Twitter a couple of weeks ago from Guti, or Guti, however you pronounce it, from Madrid, some of his assists?
No.
Made search for that.
Who got thrown out then? I've forgotten again.
Juventus.
Juve in Group H. Well, I'll tell you what, one thing I've learned is that they should do this backwards. They should absolutely draw pot 4 first and then pot 3, because then you're absolutely shitting yourself about who's going to come out of the draw. I know it still works the other way around, of course, but... And they should also get people who can open these things much quicker. How many people have we got watching? Oh, we've lost 600 people here, lads. No. This is not good.
City.
Manchester City. D or F, lads?
F.
F?
I'll go D.
You go D. I'm going F as well. I do think that this is going to be a season that they're going to have to try and do something in the Champions League. Pep's proved that he can win the Premier League, and I think now that club, after the expenditure that they've made, needs to do something in the Champions League.
Him as well, I think. Was it 2011 he last won it? Barca?
Wow, was it that long ago?
It's been a while since he won it, hasn't it?
Yeah, of course, he was at Bayern Munich, so it was F. So you were wrong, John, and we're basically the best and you're the worst. Okay, so then are they going to draw this anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Shall we see if we can work it out faster than them? It's Lokomotiv Moscow in Group D. Let's see. Lokomotiv Moscow.
It's not quite as impressive as... See? Got that one right.
Okay, let's confirm it. Do you think they're going to have a break and maybe give like the Defender of the Year out or something now? Because they did that Goalkeeper of the Year, did they, just beforehand? That would be absolutely terrible because I just haven't planned enough filler time.
We're going to do it,
yeah. They're definitely doing something. This is not good, to be honest with you. I take it I'm on a 1 now. So I've just got to keep talking because Sai is changing the graphics and then we're going to look at it. Look at that Champions League ball. Yeah, they're doing the Defender of the Year, the absolute whoppers. Okay, I'm going to get into some of the comments now then. Ramos, Defender of the Year. I mean, come on, man. I mean,
he's
top draw. Well, I think he is absolutely top draw. I don't think they're putting like 3 players forward for this. I think it is just Ramos as the Defender of the Year. And listen, you know, he's captained this side.
Is it just going to be all Madrid players?
Probably. Everybody knows a Liverpool fan's feelings on this, don't they, at the moment, and what he did to Mo Salah in that Champions League final. I think, you know, there's another reason that I'd really love to see Real Madrid ousted at the group stage this year, because 3 years, John, 3 years of them being amazing.
Yeah, and they're kind of coming to, I think they're coming to the end of that cycle, aren't they? That group of players. I mean, obviously Ronaldo's gone, but you know, the bulk of that team, the squad that's there, that still won it. But I suppose in that sense, you've just got to admire them, haven't you? Like it's a hell of a lot of consistency to do that, you know, once and then retain it, but then to do it 3 years running, especially, you know, you consider like the change in, you know, the change in the teams around them, you know, that have been there. Like, you know, obviously we were just, you know, beating every team, you know, we come up against last season. Whereas, you know, if you go back 2 or 3 years, it was completely different. You know, we weren't even, you know, in that race. You know, Bayern Munich, maybe Barca were the nearest competition, and they were still winning it. It's just, you know,
it's tough, isn't it? And listen, Adam, some of the stories from last season, I think they'll live with us a long time, won't they? I think, you know, we had some belter away games last season, some incredible welcomings. What was for you was the standout moments of last season's Champions League run?
When Salah scored that bar and then against Roma, I think that was quite a perfect moment, really. Like, to go 1-0 up with an unbelievable goal and to watch him try and not celebrate, and Henderson run the 100-metre final and break the world record
Go back in
to
time.
nearly rag his head off, like, lad, jump up and down right now. That was a big moment. And Oxlade-Chamberlain's strike against City. I watched, we were talking about this last time I was on, I think. I watched that on my own because I went to see Derren Brown that night, so I recorded it. So I didn't actually watch that game live, and I just avoided it. Drove home from town with my T-shirt over my head, with my fingers in my ear, because I didn't want to see Liverpool fans celebrating or crying.
You drove home with
your
what? A
feet?
T-shirt over your eyes?
My girlfriend was driving the car.
I was going to say, like...
Got home, put it on, and my missus went to bed because she has to get up at like 6 o'clock for work, and she was like, you can watch it, but then be shouting like you do during the day because I'm in bed, so fucking shouting. And I was like, yeah, babe, honestly, I won't. And when that went in, I stood up and went, fuck off! She hates football, right? She came in, she went, I thought I told you. I went, babe, look, I know you don't like football, but watch this goal.
That's not what you need at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, waking up, baby, waking up. Come and watch this goal. Watch Alex. Alex is amazing. It's going to be incredible. It looks like they might be starting again now. We're going to have to sit through loads of Real Madrid players getting awards, aren't we?
Can I just throw 2 shout-outs in terms of last season? Obviously, Trent's free kick.
Yeah,
Was
Hoffenheim.
brilliant. Yeah, and not necessarily at the time, but that video the club put out after of all the fans singing at Roma. I just love. There's one video where it's just the one fella singing by himself, and then it goes to a different camera angle, and it's just the entire away end, and it's fucking brilliant. But both of those were just brilliant.
Okay,
Dua Lipa in the final as well.
I missed
One
it.
kiss.
Went off that.
Missed it. Yeah. I was in the closest bar to the stadium doing Jaeger bombs. Don't really remember much of the game, if I'm honest. I got in there found Paul about 2 minutes before kick-off. I was like, oh, hey, okay. Right, it looks like we're on for pot 2 right now.
Here we go.
Oh man, I need to get the comments up but not look at them at the same time. So Kaka has got his hand there, he's opened the ball, the page is out, it's FC Porto. They dragged this out.
Group G, go on,
Group
Group
G. You
G.
know what I mean? Porto and
I'm on Group A.
Group G.
let's go D.
Automotive.
Porto, Moscow. Let's have a little bit of that. Yeah, my arse is gone now. I don't want any. I don't want any of these teams anymore, and I just want this one.
Now go on, Group G. I still want my group. I only came up with it today. I haven't had 5 days to sit on it and change my mind.
Come on.
Lads.
We need some film music.
We do, don't we?
Bloody
Get
hell.
that elevator music song that you use in the back of videos. Go ahead.
Group G. GG.
I like the way they've
D.
lit his elbows up. Group D.
Locomotive.
Locomotive.
Tell you what, mate.
And Porto, there you go. I'll tell you what, right now, that's the group I want. I'm not even joking.
But what a draw for Porto.
Decent.
Do you know what I mean? For Porto, for getting through to the next round.
It's good for them, actually, you're right, isn't it? I think. And maybe, listen, Moscow could be like one of those places like Galatasaray where it's very, very tough to go to, but there isn't going to be...
There's a reason they're in pot 1.
It's
like,
yeah, they won the league.
Who's this now?
Roma. So they will not...
Put them in with City, I don't want them.
Can't be an H.
City. Put them in with City, I don't want them.
Okay.
And we can't play City, so Group F.
Yeah, okay, I like that. I like that as a shout, actually. Even without Alisson, do you think they'll be...
It's just it's the grudge. It's that grudge from that semi-final.
Dzeko's good.
Can you imagine the other way round? We'd want them. Wouldn't we?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we do. We both want Real Madrid, so that's the other way around, isn't it? So we're about to find out where Roma are going. And let's hope for F. Let's hope for F. G.
Madrid.
Roma and Madrid. I'll tell you what, Real Madrid will not be happy with that draw because Edin Dzeko is a top draw striker and...
We're just gonna
that now becomes...
Are we just going to do this in just Group G?
Can we have... is it going to be possible for us to take, like, Hoffenheim and just have everyone we played last season?
Yeah. It's possible.
Is there anybody else in pot 4? I should have probably had the pot written down in front of me.
The one in pot... I don't think there's anyone else in pot
4.
Pot 4 that we've played, but the only other danger one in pot 4 is Inter. Really. And Galatasaray.
And do you get protection when you're in pot 4? From other country, from your country still?
Yeah.
All the way
country
through,
protection,
you get that, yeah?
completely. And in the first knockout round as well.
So Inter couldn't go in that group then, could they, because of Roma being in there?
Yes.
Man United.
Man United are coming out next. Diego Forlan's drawn his old team. He performed
Poorly. Let's be nice.
Hilariously.
Group
Group
H.
H with
Juventus.
Juve. Oh my days.
They won't be happy with that.
We cannot get in that group with Juventus. That is an absolute
Ronaldo
winner.
going back to Old Trafford.
Ooh,
They still
let's
think
get
he's
that.
on loan.
Yeah.
If-
Oh, is he? Yeah, he might not.
He might
Is
not
he
be allowed to
eligible?
play.
Just checking in on him, he's doing okay.
It's been 8 years, lads.
Has he been back with Madrid? Is that his first time back at Old Trafford?
I feel like he has, but I couldn't tell you for definite. It's definitely something that's
Dortmund.
probably in the research over there that I can't look at.
Dortmund.
Dortmund
A, B or C.
can't
F.
go in E.
A, B or C, it's on the screen.
A, B or C? Why can't they go in F? Oh, because Bayern are on the bottom half of the draw, so they have to be on the other side for TV reasons, don't they?
Yeah. That's it. I knew that.
So since you got back, that's what you've been doing. You know, on the Champions League.
We're
He
paired,
designed the entire tour.
we're
They're just
paired for that with
plan.
United, so we can't
So
be in
we'll
the
be
bottom
easy.
anymore
Group
either.
A.
Group A. Okie dokie. Then Dortmund and Atletico.
That's
Chris.
looking like a
Oh
painful
my
group.
days.
We're paired with United for the TV thing, so we can't be on the same side of the draw as them, so we can't be on the bottom half
can't be on
anymore.
that.
We'll be in groups A to D.
So
That's
Atletico, Dortmund, Barca, PSG, or Moscow and Porto is what we're saying.
Moscow and
We
Porto
want.
or Barca.
If we had the sound on the tutorial, I might be onto this as well.
Shakhtar.
Shakhtar Donetsk. Where can they go then?
E
E
and F.
or F? City or Munich?
Group.
I think City would fancy a little bit of Shakhtar
They had them
Donetsk.
last year, didn't they?
Yeah. Did they give them trouble last year?
I think they did, didn't they? Take a win
They
off
beat,
them?
they beat them at the ground. They were the first team to beat them, weren't they?
At the Etihad.
Yeah, but they'd already
Didn't
progressed.
matter, yeah.
I think I'm right in saying. So let's see for an E. Let's go for an E. F. Okay,
City.
Shakhtar and City then. Wow, this is so we're going to be an A, B, C, or D. Is that what you're saying, Adam?
Yeah. And Tottenham will also be in the top half of the draw now as well.
So that could close. That will obviously close off one of them. Benfica have been drawn now. They will
be in
able
the
to
bottom
go
half.
in E.
Yeah, they've got to go straight into E.
Benfica with Munich. That's it. Oh, and we just can't get into the bottom half of this draw, can we? Which is a little bit of a shame because I wouldn't have minded Group E. Bayern Munich and Benfica.
That would have been good.
Paul went to the Allianz Arena last year, like, and I've not been there. And it's definitely a stadium that's on my to-do list.
Yeah, I've never done the Allianz.
Napoli. Okay. I fancy them to go with Barca or PSG, to be honest. Let's see.
I think Group C. Them and PSG.
That's a tough draw. I wouldn't,
Either of them.
I wouldn't fancy
Either of them
any of them
groups.
with Napoli. We're now getting into the business end, aren't we? And this is starting to get a little bit tasty. But Spurs are going to be in one of these groups.
Yes.
You know.
Spurs are getting
C.
PSG, so we can't be with PSG, which is good.
Napoli and PSG.
Oh, no?
Yeah, so Spurs are in Barca.
Yeah.
So we can't get Barcelona.
No.
Magic.
Spurs.
So right now, we can only be in A, C or D.
Yes.
Atletico Dortmund, ouch. PSG Napoli, ouch. Moscow and Porto. So we'll run through the groups right now for
Hey, that
you.
plane to Russia's looking all right now,
So I'll tell you what, I'm going to run through them right now for you. A, Atletico Dortmund. B, Barcelona and Spurs. C, PSG Napoli. D is Moscow and Porto. E is Munich and Benfica. F is Man City and Shakhtar Donetsk. G is Real Madrid and Roma. And finally, Group H is Juventus and Man United. And you can see we've nearly got the graphics on the screen. We've now got the graphics on the screen. And what we've worked out, as I'm sure you will, because you're watching the draw probably live, whereas we seem to have a 2-minute delay, is that Liverpool will either be in Group A, Group C, or Group D. John, where do you want to be now?
D.
Where do you want to be now?
D.
So the bravado is fully gone. Which do you think? I tell you what, Spurs. Apart from us in pot 3, these Spurs might be all right there. To look at it, you know, there's not many teams in pot 3 that I think would give Spurs and Barcelona a game.
The other team in pot three that could cause problems to some of these teams is Lyon. They're the other team in our pot that I don't think...
What about Valencia as well?
Valencia in that...
Lyon have had a little bit of a stuttering start in Liga. I know that recently promoted Stade de Rennes beat them the other day. But I think you're right, they've got that European pedigree. It'd be a tough game regardless. Valencia would be a big one, wouldn't it? And there's no teams there that Valencia couldn't be drawn against, I think I'm right in saying. Barcelona, so they couldn't go in there, could they?
No, they can go in.
So they couldn't go into that group, so you're probably looking at maybe Lyon as probably one of the toughest ones from pot 3 for them. PSG, Napoli, that's a scary group.
Yeah.
That is a scary group because we've not come up against PSG. We've not come up against this iteration of PSG and these forwards and, you know, the form that these guys have been in. All right, they've struggled in the Champions League, but they're still a good side.
They're an unbelievably good squad, and I think the thing as well that they've got is that loads of the lads that they've got playing for them are big international players, as in they play for their international teams, so they're used to pressure, you know, they're used to going to difficult places and stuff and doing it. I do slightly wonder whether if you get them at Anfield, what happens to them. I don't think they freeze, but can you unsell them? You know, can you do something to them to make them play within themselves?
I agree with you, but I do think as good as Anfield is on any European night, it goes up a level in the knockout rounds. Yeah. It just does. Like, I went to the Maribor game at home last season, and it was flat because we expected to win, and I think we were already well on the way to being through at that stage.
The thing is, like, you can still have those good atmospheres. I remember going to the Real Madrid one where they beat us 3-0. It was a good atmosphere. It wasn't coach welcoming, and I think that's the key. I'd love to see it this season where Liverpool do welcome the coach and do that noise and get up for each and every game, because we know how important it is. The first team is drawn out of pot 3 right now. Kaka.
This is our pot.
This is us. Stressful. Lyon. Oh my days. So they can't go in C because of PSG?
They can't go in the top half because of TV rights.
F and G.
Oh, right, okay.
Bottom half.
So they're bottom half, then there's no French teams there in the bottom half of the draw then?
Group G. Group of death, why not?
Oh, is that what you're going for?
Yeah, glad.
Lyon. I'd like them with Man United and Juve.
Send Depay, but has Depay gone to Milan?
I don't know.
Or did he stay with Lyon?
I know Liverpool, mate. That's what I know. My European football knowledge
Group
isn't
F.
the best. So it's Group F.
City and Shakhtar.
Wow, Manchester City, Shakhtar and Olympique Lyonnais.
I think City might qualify, you know.
I think City are going to be okay there, yeah.
I think they're laughing there, aren't they? And, that's really disappointing because...
I do think Lyon or Shakhtar, and if they got, like, Inter in that group now, then that becomes a very good group to watch for second place, I think. Yeah,
but Man City, the clear favourites. Couldn't see who that was. Moscow.
E, G and H.
Okay, E, G and H. So they could go in with Munich and Benfica, Real Madrid and Roma, or Juventus and Manchester United.
Send United to Moscow.
I was going to say purely for the needle.
I'm up for that. Let's go for Group H then. I'm starting to get a little bit stressed there, you know.
I can't believe Forlan still hasn't worked out this unscrewing the balls thing. G.
Oh, dearie me. So, Moscow, CSKA are going in with Real Madrid and Roma.
It's a long trip for any of them now.
That's a tough group, that. That's a really tough group.
Moscow will, because of, like, how their fans act over in Russia and the fact that it's miles away, that will always be a difficult trip for any squad.
I must admit, it looks like it might be... Schalke, right? I must admit, the World Cup being in Russia might have helped that. And I think a lot of fans will probably now be looking at it and going, actually, you know, I haven't seen the World Cup in Russia. I know it's a little bit different when you've got that tribalistic fan base of each individual club, but I think we can all feel safe when we go there now, and that's probably something that we've not been able to do in the past. Who was this one?
Schalke for pot B, C or D.
B with Barcelona and Spurs. They're a good side, Schalke, and they play a mad formation, don't they, John? They do that. They're still doing that 4-6.
Oh, that is it.
That's a tough draw, that.
No, they're in pot D.
Pot D.
Look at that group now.
Porto, Moscow and Schalke. Right, well, we're fucked. Basically, we're in A or C, which is Atletico Madrid or Dortmund, PSG or Napoli.
What's left? What do you want? A or C?
Hey,
I reckon
just
A,
for
you know.
that Dortmund away.
The Dortmund away.
Is that us? No?
Valencia.
Fucking hell, man. I want C. I think C's easier.
They can only go in F or H, I think. Or E or H.
I think that Liverpool versus PSG and Napoli is easier than Atletico and Dortmund.
I think so, yeah.
And I'm not thinking about the aways at this stage of the competition. I want the good aways
qualified.
later on. When we've
Yeah.
qualified.
Okay.
I still want, right now, I
Both
told
of
you
these
I'd chip
groups
my
are
pants.
difficult, like,
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
for very different reasons as well.
Ah, fucking hell.
Group H.
Group H.
Who was that?
Juventus, Man United, Valencia.
I tell you what,
That's a tough group, look at them.
that's a tough group.
They're all going to be tough groups by the looks of this. Apart from fucking D with Moscow, Porto and Schalke. I tell you what, I fancy Porto and Schalke to go through there so far. Like, Kaka, what are you doing, lid? Come on. Eindhoven.
Yes.
Group A.
E.
E.
Is that the
A,
only
B, C or E.
one? A, B, C or E? Take
Go
A
on.
off me.
Yeah, go on.
Take A off me, please. I want to go to Dortmund and I got the Westfalen Stadion. Is that what it's called? I want to go there. I really do. And I want to experience it. But I also want to go on the Yellow Wall, so maybe I don't want to go as a Liverpool fan. No. Maybe I want to go and support them one time. Is this Eindhoven?
Yeah.
Go in A. Please 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 go.
B.
Fuck you, Forlan. Ah, for fuck's sakes. So, bloody hell. This is not looking good for us, lads. It's still A or C.
Lad, we were Champions League finalists.
I know, but I want to be that again, and that means getting the easiest group right now. I told you, all the bravado's gone, mate. All the bravado's gone.
Ajax.
So Ajax will be in the bottom half of the draw because PSV are in the top half.
Well, there's only one group left in the bottom half of the draw, and that's E. So that's Ajax then. Did they have to draw it anyway?
Yeah. Oh no, they don't. It's done.
Ajax.
Tell you what though, in terms of content.
Let's see, Kaka.
Come on, lad.
It's going to be us, this one.
Isn't it?
It's not. It's Monaco.
Monaco.
They can't go and C, can they?
No, but they're going to be in the bottom half of the draw.
No, they're in A. The
They're
bottom
in-
half's
they're
full,
in A.
mate. We're in C
C.
with PSG and Napoli.
You
At
wanted
least
that
that's not A. I know it's still
Yeah,
honourable,
yeah.
but at least it's not A. Do you know what I mean? So we've got Monaco, right, and then there you go. Then Liverpool are going to be drawn with PSG.
And Napoli.
I fancy us against PSG now. The bravado's come back, boys.
I tell you what though, what a group that is for proper football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The games are
Three
going to be
teams
incredible.
who
Yeah,
are
yeah.
going to absolutely love it. There's Rushy, the Silver Fox, the man himself, the absolute legend. Liverpool have been drawn in Group C of the Champions League stages with PSG and with Napoli. Parc des Princes, their home ground. I've always wanted to go there as well. It's a stadium that is also, an international stadium there. They do the rugby there, they do everything. That is a stadium that I want to go to, and I am now fully on board at Liverpool smashing PSG and Mbappe out of the competition. If Napoli can do their bits as well. John, what's your first thought on PSG, Napoli, and Liverpool, mate?
Up for it. Like I say, I prefer that to Group A. It's just going to be interesting, isn't it? It's going to be that's going to be like Adam says, it's going to be some good football. I think in a weird way, maybe some slightly different challenges. I think Napoli's maybe slightly more counter-attack. I think PSG might be a bit more, obviously their midfield, they've always had really good midfield as well as the lads up front. I think that might be a slightly different challenge for us. Good thing, I think as well, that they're both quite close in terms of like the league.
That's good. That's really good. We have avoided those Moscow teams, and Shakhtar as well would have been.
A couple of
another
hours
nightmare.
on the plane over to Napoli, maybe 3 hours, just a little bit further than Roma, down south.
And we can walk to Paris if we really want. I
swim.
mean, I wouldn't
You
advise
could
it, but could swim. We could.
You can get the train basically all the way there, can't you, from here?
You
Which
can,
is a
yeah.
little bit of a bonus. I fancy that. You know what? I'm really liking the sound of Paris on and away. Might go a couple of days early, do a little bit of culture.
Yeah.
Stop off in Amsterdam.
I don't think like
Have they started?
they're about to do
We're in pot
pot four.
four.
I do think with that Group C, the teams, they'll be more gutted about drawing us than we are about them
Yeah, Napoli certainly.
from pot 3.
Napoli certainly. And PSG, it might be a good thing for them. it might actually work in their favour because they might get tested a little bit.
Hoffenheim.
You know what I mean?
Hoffenheim?
They don't get tested in their league, do they?
Oh, we can't. Bottom half.
They don't get tested in their league, PSG. So actually to get a strong Champions League group, that might be better for them going forward. You might be looking at that going, actually, you know what? We get to play some tough games of football, which will set us up if we manage to go through.
Does that also mean that
Make sure you tell me what's going on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does that also mean that if we when we qualify out the group, that we can't get them as well until later in the draw?
It does, yeah.
It does,
you can't
yeah.
get them in the first round.
So that is
Hoffenheim
Group
and Group
F
F.
for Hoffenheim, yeah.
I tell you what, like that,
That's going to be it.
Second place.
Hoffenheim are a good side. We saw that last year. You know, it's Nagelsmann.
Have you heard about what's happened with him as manager as well?
No.
He's leaving at the end of the season.
Is he, yeah?
He's already agreed to go to Leipzig.
Wow, okay. Well, Leipzig have got the money there, haven't they? I think, you know, Hoffenheim don't do that, but he's managed to do really well. And the next team out of the draw is Galatasaray.
No thanks.
No thanks.
No, thank you. Can they? Yep.
Can't,
Yep,
they can go
any.
anywhere,
No,
really.
they can't go in ours. Oh, is it
can't,
just
any.
No, it's
F?
Group F where
Because it's
some-
full.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would really like to avoid Galatasaray,
Group
actually.
H, go on. Let's have Man United.
Yes. Shout.
What a group that would be.
Or B. I'm fine with B as well.
That's a lot of travel if you Spurs that.
Just trust the lad to spin the balls, will you? He's watched you do it like fucking 9 times now. Oh, my days. So we just had a comment, blue super chat there, Muad Al-Husni. I'm up for this. This is what the Champions League is all about.
Group D.
Thank you very much.
Locomotive,
Group D.
Porto and Schalke.
So there
That's a
you
wild-
go.
that's
Galatasaray.
Any two of them can go through.
That's a wild group, that.
That's some travel for some of those teams, isn't it? That could be a really closely fought contest. You know, you got Moscow, you got Porto, you got Schalke and Galatasaray. No real standout teams, but
Young
teams that
boys.
could probably all take. I'll tell you what, I'd take a bit of. You're not going for me, mate. I'm not going all over Twitter for saying that, and I'm not googling it either.
When it comes to young boys, I normally struggle to stop. Jesus Christ.
Group H.
H.
Oh, Man United.
Man United are after the young, but there is going to be a Goldbridge meme out of this, isn't there? Oh yes, we get to go and fuck the young boys.
I mean, they can just cut that bit out, you know. They can just cut. The people who edit these memes don't wait for context. Like. Who's this?
Crew Alexander.
It does look like that, actually, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, is that Belgrade?
Crew Sneverdi.
Is that Belgrade?
Who is that? Can anyone let me know?
It's Red Star, isn't it?
Red Star Belgrade with 2 yellow stars on the badge. It's got to be, hasn't it?
Christopher.
Yeah, it's Belgrade, sounds.
We've had confirmation from the judge. It is. It's a goal.
Red Star Belgrade formed in some year in the past. Really classy side with classy fans, and Diego Forlan's throwing the ball out right now. It's going to be amazing. But that hair just hasn't moved at all. Oh, hello! Hello! Hello, hello, hello! Red Star Belgrade. I am
Definitely
liking
Red Star
that.
Belgrade.
Well, not for certain. Not for certain. But
Is
if
that
you
definitely Red Star
can,
Belgrade?
if you can, is it?
Yeah.
It's 100% Red Star Belgrade.
Definitely.
Absolutely magic. There you go. Did you do it by the badge? The 2 little yellow stars over a, like a little red crest.
Bruges.
Club Bruges. Where are they going to go?
A, B, E or G.
I'm going to go G with Real Madrid. Liverpool, Napoli,
I'm going to go A.
PSG and Belgrade. I fancy us there. I fancy us there. One of the sides that I probably wanted to avoid more than anything. And now I've talked myself into, and you've talked me into wanting them.
Who did we buy Grujic off? Or did we buy him off them?
Who?
Grujic. We buy him off
Yeah,
them.
we
Yeah.
did, yeah.
And the next one then.
Group
Wow.
A, Club Bruges.
Bruges in A. Wowza. So that one is now Atletico, Dortmund, Monaco and Bruges. That's
some good games.
there's going to be some belter games there. I think Monaco can take points
You've got
off
to fancy
anybody.
Atletico and Dortmund now.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Monaco are on the same side that you know got so
No,
far
because
a
they
couple of
literally
years
sold
ago.
that side.
Everybody, and now they don't even have Fabinho,
No.
which is lovely, isn't
Neither
it?
do we.
Victoria is next. So Victoria will end up with Spurs, I'd say.
No, they can only go into E or G.
Then I say they end up with Munich. Okay, let's see. Dun, dun, dun. He's terrible at this. He's getting the boot. G. Couldn't even get that right. So two teams to go. Roberto Carlos looks happy. Real Madrid, Roma, CSKA Moscow and Victoria in Group G of the Champions League. Kaka draws out second to last team, which is Internazionale, Inter Milan. I'd fancy, you know what, Inter Milan might want a little bit of revenge against Spurs from Bale a few years ago. I wouldn't mind. That would be a really
I don't think
tough...
they'll get it.
No, true. No. But it'd be a tough group.
That's a tough group.
If they, and there you go, it is. It's in that one. So Inter, Eindhoven, Spurs and Barcelona. They definitely feel like they've sped this up towards the end.
It's because, you know, I'm meeting my family at the Carvery at 6:30.
Is this actually true?
Yeah.
It's 6 minutes past 6. So there you go. Benfica, Munich, Ajax and Athens round off the Champions League. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to run through all of the groups and then we're going to sit and we're going to talk about Liverpool, we're going to talk about PSG, we're going to talk about Napoli, we're going to talk about Liverpool and we're going to talk about Belgrade. So in Group A of the Champions League, Atletico Madrid, Dortmund, Monaco, Club Brugge. Group B, Barcelona, Tottenham Hotspur, PSV Eindhoven, Internazionale. C, PSG, Napoli, Liverpool and Red Star Belgrade. And D, Lokomotiv Moscow, Porto, Schalke and Galatasaray. And then we look at the second part of the draw. We've gone Group E, Bayern Munich, Benfica, Ajax, AK Athens. Group F, Manchester City, Shakhtar Donetsk, Olympique Lyonnais and Hoffenheim. Group G, Real Madrid, Roma, Moscow, Victoria. Group H, tough group for Manchester United, Juventus, Manchester United, Valencia and Young Boys. Lads, we've got the graphic up on the screen now. Well done, Si. You've done a sterling job there, mate. Absolutely superb. Making the graphics as we go along. It's going to be tough. Let's look at Group C first and foremost. We want to see Liverpool's Group Si. There it is. Look at that. He had it ready. Look at that. He's just absolutely kinging it off camera. PSG, Napoli, Liverpool, Belgrade. 6 points from 6. Mm-hmm. Comfortable with that?
18 from 18, mate. Yeah.
18 from 18.
I don't know. I think any away game in the Champions League's always hard. We should be getting 6 off Belgrade.
I think that Napoli game ends up a bit like the Roma game last season.
Just a bit mad.
I think we absolutely smashed the home leg, and then I think we maybe struggle a little bit when we go to their place.
It's always going to be a tough place to go. You know, the Italian sides, they don't have to create an unbelievable atmosphere. But I think Adam's point from earlier on is probably right, John, is that this isn't the same Napoli side that we saw last season, and they will be getting a little bit of adjustment period to getting used to Ancelotti.
Do you wonder if maybe they have a slight bit of pressure on them, given what happened last season, as in kind of, you know, obviously the league went fairly late on for them, but then also the kind of thing of they've appointed him, you know, they've had some money to reinvest, you know, are they looking, is the league a bit of a focus for them, do you think, maybe, in terms of, he's got to get the league right first?
I think he probably does, but look, I think that their fans, much like ours from a few years ago in 2014, will not want to see him play a second-string squad coming over to Liverpool or PSG. And he's a brand new manager, so he's got no credit in the bank. So he doesn't have that ability where
he's also Carlo Ancelotti. He's not going to do that. He's won the Champions League more than any other manager, I believe. So this is his bread and butter. Do you know what I mean? As much as he will need to be doing all right in the league, there's no way he's messing around with us here. That's a tough draw. But what are we in the Champions League for if we want to go and play a load of painting and decorators? We do that enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, we want to be back here, so we're in games like this.
And that's it. And I must admit now, I am already looking forward to and relishing this tie with PSG. I mean, you know, you couldn't ask for more, really, could you? You got some of the world's most expensive players on show, one of the best attacks in Europe against one of the best attacks in Europe, one of the best defences in Europe against an untested defence in PSG's. You know what I mean? These lads, we got further than them in the competition last year. We got further than them in the competition last year. I don't even know if they were in it last year, to be fair. They'll be looking at it and going, that's the hardest draw that we could have got from pot 3, Liverpool Football
absolutely.
Club. They'll be fearing us. Everybody around Europe didn't want Liverpool in pot 3. And right now, we're looking at it and going, I don't mind that draw.
There's a little bit of needle there as well, isn't it? Because obviously Tuchel being ex-Dortmund as well, tactician, there'll be a story in that probably as well.
Yeah,
Tuchel and Klopp again. Tuchel will want the revenge from knocking Dortmund out in the Europa. It sets up a proper interesting group.
But he'll also be scared of the Anfield atmosphere.
Oh, totally, yeah. And like, as good as players like Neymar and Mbappe are, if that, I'd love that PSG game to be the last one of the group, and it's an important game because that's when the fans will welcome the coach
home as well.
Yeah. And we'll see what's to come.
Well, there we go. Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to go and record a subscriber exclusive show now. We're going to have a little bit of time, maybe look at a little bit of research of the clubs that we've come up against, come back with something, probably a 20-minute show, something like the website, well, in about 3 hours when it's up, to be fair. If you just watch YouTube with us, then do go over to check out the redmentv.com. It's £5 a month. Your first month is free. You'll get the reactions. We've done some great shows already today. I had David Anderson from The Mirror in, talking about the potential out, talking about the fact that Origi might be going to Dortmund, and looking at Mo Salah and his problems with Egypt as well. Before we go, though, thank you everybody for watching this stream. Thank you to Tom, to Sam and to Simon, who've worked tirelessly all day to get this stream up and running. And of course, thank you to my guests, Adam Rowe and John Reid. It's been an absolute pleasure. Liverpool are in the Champions League. Liverpool are the most feared team in the Champions League. Liverpool have drawn PSG, they've drawn Napoli, and they've drawn Belgrade. We have to go through for my sanity now. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time on the Redmen TV.